Let us look at Python programs relating to input and output. Question 1. Write a program which asks the user for the capital of France and then outputs the result. Now here is the program. And it's taken a bit of time to come. Oh, there it is. Now if we run this program, it says enter the capital of France and let us type Paris and we press enter and then it outputs Paris there and then another line it outputs and it says the capital of France is Paris. So how do we relate this program here to this output here? So let's talk about that. So it says line 2, capital equals input, enter the capital of France. So what is it expecting? It's printing to the screen. Can you see enter the capital of France? Input means that it's expecting an input from you, an input from the keyboard, and I type in, or we type in Paris, and I press enter. And after I've typed in Paris, it assigns Paris, or rather it assigns capital to Paris. It makes capital equal to Paris. So when it does print capital, it prints Paris because capital is now equal to Paris. And then for line 4, it prints the capital of France is, which is in quotation marks. So it prints the capital of France is here. And then here we have capital. And capital, remember, is equal to Paris. So it prints capital. So can you see here, it prints 2 lines. One line it prints is Paris, or outputs is Paris, and the second line is the capital of France is Paris, and the capital of France is Paris is somewhat more explanatory than the first line, which just says Paris. Okay, write a program which asks the user for 2 whole numbers, i.e. integers. Integers are known as whole numbers, and outputs the sum of the 2 numbers. So it wants you to input 2 numbers, and by outputting the sum, it means the sum of 2 numbers is the 2 numbers added together. So the output, or the sum rather, of 2 and 3 is 5. The output of 3 and 5 is 8. The output of 10 and 3 is 13. So it's those 2 numbers added together. Now let's look at this program here. So this is the program and let us run it. Enter first number 5. Press enter. Enter second number 3. And it says 8. The total is 8. So how does this output relate to this program? So let's look at this again. So if I run it again, it says enter first number. So if we look at line 2 there, which reads x equals int input, enter first number, can you see how it's displaying the text enter first number to the screen? Input means it wants some input from yourself. And int means you enter an integer or a whole number. So let us enter 5. And if I then press enter, it will make x equal to 5. Then it says y equals int input, enter second number. So it prints enter second number to the screen. It's expecting you to input something, but it's expecting an int because it says int. So if I type in 3, and then if I press enter, it will make y equal to 3. Then, line 4, total equals x plus y. So that will become total equals 3 plus, or 5 plus 3, which becomes 8. So total will become 8. Print total, so it prints 8. Or you could say, in lines as in line 6, the total is total. So it prints the total is to the screen here, and then total, and total was 8. So here we have it. So, you can pause the video and look at this for a few seconds to make sure you do understand it. Last but not least, question 3. Write a program which asks the user for 2 decimal numbers, and floats are known as decimal numbers, and outputs the sum of these 2 numbers. So in the previous question, you could only enter whole numbers like 3, 5, 9, 10, but here we are going to add decimal numbers such as 2.4, 5.6. So let's see this working. This is the program and let's run it. A small decimal number, 1.5. So if we say A equals float equals input, enter first number, can you see it's printed enter first number to the screen? Input means it expects an input, and float means that you can put in a sort of decimal number. We've put in 1.5. So after I click enter, it makes A equal to 1.5. Similarly, enter second number, and if I put in 2.5. So we've got here B equals float, input, enter second number. So it's printed enter second number to the screen. It expects an input. So we've put in 2.5 because it expects a kind of decimal, as it says float. So after I've pressed enter, it makes B equal to 2.5. Then it says total equals A plus B. So that's total equals 1.5 plus 2.5, which is 4.0. So it makes total equal to 4.0. Print total, it prints 4.0. And then line 6 here, it says print the total is total. So it prints the total is, can you see here? It's printed the total is, and total we know, yep, it's a bit difficult to do this, is 4.0. So it's printed the total is 4.0. Now you can pause the video, look at the program, look at the output, study it for a bit, make sure that you do understand it. So that's all for now, folks.